Well, funnily enough, I had a negative response to the idea of it when it first came to me. And Cameron wanted to have a meeting in London. I was actually on my way to Europe for a friend's wedding, so I popped into London and I went to the stage show with him, and then we talked afterwards. But for me, and this is probably an unpopular attitude to have, considering what we're talking about, but I didn't like the character in the stage show. I didn't respond to it at all. I just thought it was overly simplistic, and I couldn't follow why he came to the conclusions that he came to. So when I had my meeting with Tom Hooper, I started outlining, all these things that I saw as being negatives and my reasons for, saying, thanks but no thanks, And somehow in that meeting with Tom, all of those questions became my responsibility. And I left the meeting determined to be involved in the project and play Javert. I think it had something to do with Tom's passion for what he was about to undertake. And he clearly understood the problems and he clearly understood the challenge. But I could just feel from him a determination to answer all those questions and find solutions for all those problems. And you want to be on film sets with people who are like that, with directors who, they might not have all the answers, but they are clear in their determination to achieve them. I got very lucky. I went to Paris to do a little bit of research, and I went to Victor Hugo's house, but it was closed that day. But there was a woman inside the office. I could see through the window, so I tapped on the glass, and in very broken and infantile French, managed to remind her that she recognized my face, and and she'd seen a few movies, and she decided to give me a one-person tour, And it was through the course of that tour, walking through the bedrooms and stuff in Victor Hugo's house, that she told me about a man called Vidocq. And Vidocq was Victor Hugo's influence for both Jean Valjean and Javert. He's a man who came up in a middle-class family, had an overdeveloped sense of adventure, found himself imprisoned for dueling when he was 18 or 19, spent a number of years as a convict. And then with the change of government, found himself in a situation where he became a policeman and then a police inspector, and on up the tree until he started the Brigade du Surete, and is commonly given the credit for starting undercover police work. And this is the man that Victor Hugo divided in half to make two men. Once you know that, the whole process becomes far more interesting, because I didn't look to be influenced by any of the stage versions of Javert, any of the film versions of Javert. I looked to Victor Hugo's source material for the man. So for me, Javert is so much more complex than what the musical on stage allows him to be, And I always saw a connection between the death of the students and his own demise, because he could have stopped that. And when he realizes that he is responsible for all those children, that's when he really starts to unravel. So yes, he has the pursuit of Jean Valjean, but it's coming face to face with his own cowardice that really brings Javert to the surface. Hugh Jackman showed an incredible leadership and artistry every single day. He had the biggest responsibilities of anybody, and I don't know, what's necessarily going on in his heart or in his stomach, but he went through those responsibilities with such ease and grace it was kind of infectious. So no matter what the anxieties that other performers were turning up with, everybody had the same feeling. If he, with all of the things that, you know, he had to do, if he could be at ease with it, then they could as well, you know. And I was so impressed with Hugh Jackman, man, you know. I mean, I've known him and he's been a friend and everything, you know. But to see who he's become as an artist, see what he's achieved with this individual performance, it was a very special thing to watch it unfolding, you know. This set was amazing, right? You have Anne Hathaway, right? Singing Fontaine's Arrest 40-something times, you know, and touching your heart every single time, you know. Who knew, for example, that Eddie Redmayne could make the walls drip with moisture the way he can when he sings, you know? I didn't know anything about Samantha Barks before I met her, and getting to know her and having some social fun with her and Anne and Amanda on Friday nights, would have these, you know, barbecues, and they would always end up in a sing-along. But it was such an excitement from everybody, you know, and given the type of sets that Tom Hooper put us on and the way he shot it, and the inclusive nature of how he set the cast in motion. Man, I tell you, seriously, for the rest of my career, every movie that I start, a part of me will wish I was starting Les Miserables again. It's such a profound experience.